evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, January 31, 2024. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. This government is about service, listening to the people. President Ali resolves problems facing West BERBICE residents. We don't extort people. MUSTAPHA, MAHIPAUL clash over delayed completion of pump stations. Rose Hall Estate to begin grinding by February month end. Written approval mandatory to conduct activities in schools, says Education Ministry. And New Amsterdam Rotary Club launches initiative to address childhood obesity. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Irfan Ali yesterday conducted community outreaches in villages along the west coast of BERBICE, such as Ithaca, Bat Settlement, and Bushlot, where he interacted with scores of residents to address issues affecting them and their villages. Here's a look at some of those engagements held at Bat Settlement.
We are about providing quality service, but most importantly, we are about listening. Listening to you, understanding your views, and then acting upon your views. That is why you see all the outreaches I have across the country are not fanciful outreaches in some hall room or bar room or some fancy place. It's on the roads, in the street, like this, where everyone is free and it goes live, unedited. That is what our governance is about.
Community issue is when you hear something in a room and you go to them, it's only family and friends getting it. I'm a civil mayor for 25 years. I'm not even going to speak.
What I will do now is to set up within this area a committee. You listen. I'll set up a committee. Every village within the NEC, y'all select a representative to sit down on the committee. Y'all select a representative to sit down on the committee. So let us say on all the social services, that we're looking at, I want an oversight committee. And the oversight committee will have representatives from every single community within the NEC. Okay? Are we together on that? Yes. In 2 months, we'll get 1,000 acres prepared. We have Nigel, Ramraj, the regional chairman. I want you all to sit down with all the livestock people. And we form an oversight committee that will look at this 1,000 acres, Ramraj, so that we can address this 1,000 acres and the livestock farmers. Are we together on that? That will take care of the livestock issue. All those who with NIS issue, follow this young lady with. All those who with NIS issue, follow that young lady.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Mr. President, not so far from here, there's our community center ground. And that community center ground is used for Diwali motorcade, Pago Mela, crusades, and so forth. We are asking in this area, we don't have a proper ground in terms of proper lighting facilities and so forth. I'm just asking if you can please upgrade. We are not asking for a stadium, but something of, a mini something that, everybody can benefit from.
Okay, the community ground for this area, we have that earmarked to be done. So we will do the community ground and we will also do a park for children in the area.
Thank you.
Those two things will get done, a community ground and a park for children.
I want to give you a complaint about these school children there. Morning time, the police are there on the road to catch the children there, but not in the afternoon. Right? And it's a danger for the children there. And these car them, then don't stop for your grass.
Now, let me hear from the community. The police does be at a pedestrian crossing in the morning and afternoon? There's been in the morning? Yes. There's been in the afternoon? No. You see? Commander, if y'all come out and talk to the people, you'll hear them. But all the people can't be wrong. This is maybe that's the attitude that's causing the problem. Listen to the people. How long now y'all call GPL? How many times y'all call them? So the post falling down, the people call you 1,000,000 times. Why are we not fixing it? Hello? You come to my meeting and tell me you're going to take information and fix it? By tomorrow. So why it wasn't done 2 months ago when they called? You better walk this whole region and fix all of it. You got 2 weeks.
As the consideration of the budget estimates continue today, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa clashed with opposition member Ganesh Mahipaul over the delayed completion of pump stations across the country, and the minister made it clear that government has nothing to hide and is not in the business of extorting persons. Here's more from Trishelle Sobers.
Opposition parliamentarian Ganesh Mahipaul on Wednesday sought answers for why the construction of several pump stations, catered for through budgetary allocation provided to the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority (NDIA) in 2022 and 2023, have not been completed. After examining NDIA's capital project reports, Mahipaul informed the Parliamentary Committee of Supply that the pump stations at Canal No. 1 Polder, West Bank Demerara, Bellevue, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, and Jimbo Grove, East Bank Demerara, among others, are not complete and therefore requested their revised deadlines. He also suggested that NDIA engineers should design the projects and supervise the construction themselves if contractors will continue to delay projects.
Sir, can the Honourable Minister provide us with an update on the pump station at Andrews, Essequibo Coast, that was awarded in the sum of $528,050,550 with a start date of the 27th of September 2021.
In response to the extensive line of questioning, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa disclosed that quite a few of the projects mentioned will be completed soon. At Cottage on the West Bank BERBICE, Minister Mustafa said the pump station is about 80% complete and the new completion date is March 30. Meanwhile, the station at Andrews on the Essequibo Coast should be completed by the end of February.
This pump station is about 80% complete and the new completion date is March 30th. Work are going in place and we will ensure that we work and we monitor these projects very closely.
Further, Mahipaul inquired whether government would expend monies for the reconstruction of roads in communities that are damaged when pump stations are being constructed. However, Minister Mustafa revealed that there are policies in place that caters for damages to personal assets.
When they keep hammering these piles down to strengthen the area, the base of the pump station, it is destroying the home of that family there, and there are evidence of cracks on the wall and so on. Would the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority compensate that family for the destruction that was brought to their home? And secondly, would NDIA add monies to these contracts to rectify the access road that is damaged, that are damaged?
In these contracts, you have something called public liability insurance. And that's the way, I don't know if the Honourable Member don't know about that, but then anyone, any home destroyer, any person's asset destroyed would have to be replaced at the end of the contract.
The sum of $10 billion was approved without changes by the Parliamentary Committee of Supply for Drainage and Irrigation in 2024. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
The Rose Hall Sugar Estate in East Kanji, BERBICE, Region 6 will commence grinding by the end of February 2024. Some 2,500 hectares of sugar cane are to be harvested for the factory to start its production. Trishelle Sobers joins us again with this story.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said additional crop will be available by mid-March for the Rose Hall Estate, and only then government will be able to set a 2024 production target for the facility, which reopened in September last year. However, he disclosed that rehabilitation and maintenance works will commence shortly at the factory, following the passing of this year's $1.146 trillion fiscal package, which included a sum of $2 billion for Guyana's Sugar Corporation Gaisuku to carry out works and purchase new equipment for Rose Hall. The minister provided this information to the National Assembly on Wednesday during his remarks on Day 2 of the consideration of the 2024 budget estimates of revenue and expenditure. He was at the time responding to questions about the operations of Gaisuku by opposition parliamentarian Viceroy Jordan, who sought answers about the operations of the Rose Hall estate, the availability of crop, and monies expended on the factory's reopening. Jordan also inquired about the $50 million set aside in the 2024 budget for the construction of roads in the area.
Mr. Chair, can I ask the Honourable Minister whether all the boilers are operable at the Rose Hall estate, and if there are at this time any leaks on the centrifugal basket, and what was the total cost for the rehabilitative works that were done after the 549 was spent?
Minister MUSTAPHA defended the money set aside for Rose Hall, noting that the factory will play a viable role in helping Guyana to ramp up its sugar production and assist in achieving Vision 25 by 2025. He also reminded the National Assembly that the monies expended to rehabilitate the factory is due to the fact that the former a Partnership for National Unity, the Alliance for Change, APNU-AFC government, closed the estate and left it to fall into disrepair.
Mr. Chair, like other factories, sugar estate, sugar factories, that was left to the mercy of nature, we had to spend a lot of money. Those parts that the honorable member mentioned, like things like boiler, you will repair the boiler, but during the course of grinding, you might find a leakage. You have to repair it. And that will be a continuous process. Those baskets that he talked about, yes, are repaired. They cause it. They close the estate. They cause it to rot. They cause the people of this country. They cause taxpayers $9 billion to be spent to rehabilitate and bring back Rose Hall Estate into production.
MUSTAPHA revealed that some 2,500 hectares of cane are to be harvested, with grinding set to commence by February month end. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
The Committee of Supply has approved $8.3 billion budgeted for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation to continue playing an integral role in developing Guyana's foreign policy. This year, the ministry has planned a very active public relations program that would engage residents on the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, especially in the border regions. This was revealed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd, as he responded to questions during the consideration of the budget estimates in the National Assembly. He noted that this program would be conducted by a team from the ministry, collaborating with other individuals. Additionally, the sum of $8 billion has been approved for the Office of the President, with another $500 million specifically allocated for the Men on Mission initiative. Key projects under MOM this year include the construction of houses and assistance with the building of various facilities for elderly persons with disabilities. Programs would also be done for International Days observances, as Men's Health Fair and other empowerment programs, as well as to strengthen families and contribute to overall social development. Last year, some $500 million had been allocated for the initiative. Also last year, MOM had constructed 50 homes for vulnerable persons. Additionally, building materials were supplied to various regions to support projects. The Parliamentary Committee of Supply has also given the green light to a whopping $42.2 billion budget allocation to fortify the capabilities of the Guyana Defense Force this year. The allocation caters for the procurement of 2 aircraft, 4 helicopters, 1 long-range drone, and an offshore patrol vessel for the Coast Guard. Of the total budget allocated to the GDF, $21.7 billion is designated for current expenditures, while $20.5 billion is earmarked for capital spending. The allocation represents a substantial increase compared to the previous year, when the GDF received $20.2 billion in funding. Coming up, limit outdoor time. EPA urges as Sahara dust impacts air quality, and Go Invest facilitated over 200 investments in Guyana since 2020. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Superbet, your best bet. Do you wish to pass some time and win while doing so? Play our Superbet online games. Choose from over 200 online games that are easy to play. Visit www.superbet.gy to choose your game. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The Environmental Protection Agency has informed that there is a current development in Demerara of a visible haze around regions of the East Bank and East Coast. Specifically, it said its air quality sensors located at Wim, Eccles, Vilvoorden, Central Georgetown, and Linden all show particulate matter levels significantly above the WHO standard for good air quality. The EPA has advised that particles in the Sahara dust could potentially cause a dry cough, runny nose, sore throat, itchy or watery eyes, and sneezing, among other symptoms. It noted that children, the elderly, and persons with underlying respiratory or cardiovascular illness are most vulnerable. As such, the public has been advised to limit time spent outdoors and to wear appropriate dust masks as far as is practicable. The EPA has said it would notify the public when the air quality has returned to normal, noting that NASA has forecasted a continued presence of the dust plume dating to February 7. We now tell you that a West Kanji cattle farmer is accusing police officers in BERBICE of being part of a cattle rustling ring. The farmer recently chased down a West BERBICE butcher with 7 head of cattle he said were stolen from his ranch, located along the Kanji River in Region 6. And while he was asked to produce documentation to prove the animals were his, a police officer in Region 5 allegedly released to the butcher 4 of the animals which were impounded. Andrew Carmichael has the details.
Krishna Prasad, a cattle farmer who has several hundred heads of cattle at Potaka, situated about 30 miles up the Kanji River, says last Friday he received information that persons were at his ranch stealing cattle. He subsequently learned that the animals were taken across the BERBICE River to West Coast BERBICE. Hence, he went to a location based on the information he received. Prasad said it was about midnight when persons saw a popular butcher transporting animals in the back dam.
I go down the madam, I trace, I see some cow in this man yard. I go back in the morning, about 9 o'clock, I call the police. They come, they see the cow. They bring the cow to the station. 7 heads of cow. Some of the cow brand tampered. And when the cow brand tampered, they brand on top my brand. Some cows, 2 cows I bought, didn't get my brand. The cow them there I bring forward the receipt I showed. One of the cows Saturday, out of the 7 cows, the police hand over 4 cows out of the set.
Hand it over to who?
The man were clear, the same people thieving my cows.
Passard said the animals were removed from the pound and handed over to the butcher without his knowledge, and during the period he was getting up evidence to prove ownership. A senior police officer in Region 5 says the investigation is being handled by police in Region 6, even though the animals were being kept at the pound at Fort Wellington Police Station. The source said the police administration in Region 5 was unaware that some of the animals were handed over to the butcher. The police administration also did not allow the evening news to get pictures of the animals in the pound, and also told Passard that he could not go to the pound during the period this newscast was there. Passard believes the cattle rustling ring stretches from Region 5 to Region 6, and some police officers are playing a big part in it. He says over the past year, he has lost hundreds of animals.
The police in Region 6, the support men need to more support me. One day I go in the savannah and meet 28 cow tie up, and meet 5 horsemen in my place. Me alone face them. The only thing I had to save myself, I had to shout out. After looking the hair, and then the man started shooting my right way. And these are the challenges I face. People go in my savannah and threaten me, and the police ain't doing nothing. They go at the station last week Monday and make reports how I threaten them. Police calling me for confrontation. And they get a report about these people in my place, and nobody doing nothing. And I'm facing a lot of over 600 head cow I lose from my savannah.
Within what period?
From January last year to now. And still, little calf the man is a thief from my place. And right away now the man thief out, so I hide them out and I change the brand on the cow.
Meanwhile, the police say they will be preparing a file to send to the Director of Public Prosecutions.
I want justice with this, because this cow that I hand over should be in the pound till the matter solved out. No cow should hand over to nobody. When I go in the Sunday and the other Sunday and check up, I lose 60 head cows. 10 calf and 50 cow gone again. I'm going down all the time. And because the point is that my savannah, when rainfall, the savannah is a flood. And it takes years, it takes very long time to dry. That's why you can't brand the calf them.
Passard is of the belief that the police should do more to address cattle rustling in Region 6. Region 5, he says, is being used for transshipment. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
The Guyana Office for Investment, GOInvest, has brought in 250 investments since 2020. Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Minister Gail Teixeira has revealed. Find out more in this Rupa Sinarine report.
During day one of the consideration of estimates in the National Assembly, the opposition was given a chance to scrutinize allocations made in the $1.146 trillion national budget for 2024. Upon inquiry by opposition Member of Parliament Valda Lawrence, it was disclosed that the annual allocation for GOInvest has moved up from $318 million to $375 million this year. Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Minister Gail Teixeira explained that the agency was successful in reeling in some 250 investments since government assumed office in 2020.
GOInvest has brought in 250 investments between 2020 to now.
During his budget presentation to the House earlier this month, Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance Dr. Ashni Singh had stated that government's policy agenda has created more entrepreneurial opportunities than any other time in the country's history. The rapid expansion of both public and private investment, creation of employment opportunities, and increases in disposable income have combined to grow demand for every single category of goods and services. Rupa Sinarine, The Evening News.
The Ministry of Education has stated that written approval is now mandatory for persons or organizations wishing to enter school buildings or compounds to engage learners in any discussions or conduct activities that include the distribution of gifts. This is to guarantee the safety of minors while maintaining a secure, conducive environment and preventing disruption to the established order and discipline within schools. A circular published by the ministry has said this directive takes immediate effect. According to the missive, a written approval can be obtained from the Central Ministry through the respective regional Department of Education. The new policy has been implemented following several complaints being received by the Education Ministry from concerned citizens, teachers, and parents that unauthorized engagements have resulted in students being photographed and having their images published and used for advertisements and promotions without the relevant permission. We now tell you that the Rotary Club of New Amsterdam is moving to address childhood obesity, which is a serious health issue worldwide. Andrew Carmichael reports that the club is partnering with sports organizations in an effort to raise awareness and simultaneously put in place measures that would see a reduction in instances of childhood obesity in Guyana. Here's the story.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 5 children and adolescents in the United States have obesity. Children who have obesity are more likely to carry the condition over into adulthood. Children who have obesity are at a higher risk of developing many health conditions. These conditions include asthma, sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, and certain types of cancer, including colon cancer and breast cancer. In addition, children who have obesity are at a higher risk of experiencing bullying, social isolation, low self-esteem, and depression, the CDC says. It says fast food and unhealthy snack food can contribute to childhood obesity. However, the CDC is advising parents to help their children to focus on their health and not their weight. In this regard, the Rotary Club of New Amsterdam is working with 2 cricket clubs to ensure that more children are involved in activities which will lead to healthier lifestyles. Dr. Rosa Ak-Ivdu, a doctor attached to the New Amsterdam Hospital who is a member of the New Amsterdam Rotary Club, says through the program they are hoping to provide information on diet and the need for exercise for children.
From my experience seeing pregnant ladies, it varies like 80% of the population is actually suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure.
So in terms of diet, what would you advise?
So my advice in terms of diet is eat more greens, vegetables, greens, eat healthy, avoid fats, like oil. Use more natural oils like vegetable oils.
But apart from diet, is there any other thing else you would advise?
I will advise them to come out from the Facebook, social media, tablets, games. Children come out to the road, come on to the grounds, run, play sports. That sport is always a good advice, and it will keep you fit, healthy, and more than exercise, also children learn a lot more in the grounds with the coaches and so.
The CDC says there is no simple solution to tackle childhood obesity, but advises parents to encourage children to reduce sugar intake and get good sleep at night.
The target age, I guess, from 8 years old, children should start playing sports and doing exercise. And my concern age is teenagers age from 12 years until 16 or 17 years old.
For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Thursday, February 1st, 2024 at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE River Bridge is expected to be closed at 7 hours 50 on Thursday, February 1st, 2024 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Wendy's ODI team upbeat, riding momentum of test win, and GMMF internationally sanctioned fight night set for March 23. Details of these stories and more in this sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
It's a new day with Shilling Oil. A unique blend of natural oils to help ease and soothe the day-to-day discomforts of life. Get relief from muscle and joint pain, headaches, and congestion. Shilling Oil lets you get back to the things you love doing most. Water relief with Shilling Oil. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for every